Hi there traders, this is Brad Gilbert with the guide to the trading week ahead. Now, pinching a punch for the first day of the month. We've got a whole new range of data coming out and it starts right today. So let's just have a look at the key themes as we get into the guide to the week ahead. The dollar posting the worst week against the yen since 2008. That's pretty big news and something I think the BOJ will be watching very closely. I wouldn't be surprised to see some intervention early in the week. We do have Japanese holidays on Tuesday and Thursday, so keep an eye on that. Now let's just have a look where that North American session finished last week, and that sets us up for a bit of a move this week. Now have a look at the theme of last week, the dollar index moving down from 95 down to 93. This is a pretty clear move to the downside. Now we had the FOMC minutes. Okay, the Fed aren't moving anytime soon. That's put the dollar on a bit of a backward spin, and we do have equity markets moving with them down as well. So maybe the start of something really big here at this point. We'll have to wait and see how it works out. But come over to the major currency pairs, and what you want to do to start the week, okay, before you dive into seeing what economic numbers are coming out, let's have a look where these currencies are and what the theme is, okay, or the bias. Euro, once again, it's had a real tricky week where it keeps prodding and probing to the top side, around that sort of 113.50, 60, 70, just posting new highs. But now it's blasted through what I can see is really the last major level of resistance. So we've got some Fibonacci's here from 104.56 up to the high there of 139.92. We do have some levels where it's blasted through 112.90. We've got a high up here around 117.11. That's probably your next port of call. These Fibonacci's as you go up. I mean, I can't see Euro keep going further, but don't underestimate it. This is dollar weakness, not Euro strength. All right, so bit of a difference there between those 2 points. Excuse me. Now let's just get into the rest of the major currency pairs and have a look what's going on. Now the Aussie dollar, really weak inflation numbers, has put a bit of a negative downward spin on the potential RBA rate cut, which is Tuesday tomorrow. We'll have to see how that plays out. But otherwise, Aussie dollar is going to be range bound until the RBA meeting Tuesday, and we'll see what their statement has. I mean, they were really bearish numbers, so we'll see if that flows into their forward thinking. Now, Kiwi had a big week last week. The RBNZ on Thursday. There was an expectation actually that they were going to cut rates, and that's why Kiwi rallied so aggressively. A lot of guys were sort of thinking, well, what happened there? Well, it's actually the fact that the market had factored in a rate cut. They haven't got it. Now it's stalling up around that 70 cents again. So I think you'll see it following the Aussie back down as well, especially if the RBA do get a little bit loose with their statement. Now, dollar yen, this is the main attraction. So once again, we've broken down through the last major support line there. Just having a look at the overall move, you can see how it gyrates. Once it starts to have a bit of a run to the downside, it can run very aggressively. So what I've got here is some Fibonacci projections, okay? Now looking down as we go lower here, I mean, there's a couple of weird things going to happen. So the BOJ is going to be sniffing around. They will not like the fact that the yen is appreciating this much. We do have some Fibonacci levels coming up not too far away, just in the 105, was it 70s there, and then if you want to go down even lower, 101s, and these are just loose levels, forward projections, possible levels that they could hit. I don't think we're going to hit them. I think we'll find the BOJ will come in at some stage and we'll see this thing back at 110. And that's where it's going. So you can see where I've done those projections from. The high back in March is the starting point for dollar yen. Now, coming back to sterling. Sterling's had a really, really big week. Those polls, the EU polls on whether the UK stays in the EU, the referendum's not till June 23, we know that, but they went from negative to being positive, and sterling has been charging to the top side. Funnily enough, that previous high, 146.68, held in there really nicely on Friday. I was actually looking for a break above those levels to go with that general trend to the top side. Now we are coming back to challenge this support line. I think it's a bit of a wait and see situation. Don't forget, we've got a UK May Day in the UK, so holiday there, so there won't be much liquidity and probably not much trading activity in the UK. Dollar CAD. Now, if there's one trend in the market, it's dollar CAD. It's all oil related, all right, and it's just on a massive downward spiral at the moment. Once again, we don't really have any major support lines Oil is continuing to rally. Now, I do have that inverted on this chart. Those green bars are that's oil inverted, so I get that natural visual correlation. But have a look at the there's a support line massively lower, okay, but we've got a 38.2% Fibonacci. If you go from those lows at 90.56 up to the highs of 146.89, looking for these retracement levels, we do have the 38.2 at 125.37. Now it's poked through that on Friday. The next level after that is 118.73 and then 112.08. So they're the sort of potential levels that dollar CAD could really pull back towards. Now, you know, if you are running short, well then these are levels that you could potentially be placing or maybe taking some cash off the table. But it's a tricky trade at this point. We do have a very clear level on the top side there, dollar CAD, for a look for a break. But what you need is you need oil back under $40 to get this thing really sort of honking. All right, now, when you do see a massive dollar move, this is one thing to keep an eye on as we go through the week. Okay, you do get all these analysts coming up with all these funky charts and not necessarily propaganda, but they are sort of saying, you know, maybe this is, you know, this short dollar down move is the start of a big dollar up move. And what they're trying to do is create interest, get people thinking, sell a bit of advertising, all those sorts of things. So don't sort of get let into it too much. What we are definitely seeing is we've seen a big dollar move. And what a lot of these analysts are saying, we usually see a big retracement afterwards. Now look at the live trading desk sessions this week with the RBA on Tuesday, the Kiwi employment numbers on Wednesday, Aussie retail sales and UK services on Thursday. But obviously the non-farm payrolls Friday is the main event. Now don't forget there's a free webinar there, how to really maximise your profits on Tuesday. I'll be running you through that one. And don't forget there's some potential big impacting stuff there. A couple of central bank governors talking, Draghi Monday, Pollo's I think Tuesday or Wednesday. Now the week is going to be a little bit disjointed. Okay, Chinese holiday Monday and in the UK, bank holiday on Tuesday in Japan, also on Thursday. So you're going to have these markets opening. You know, liquidity is going to be sort of popping in and out. Now we do have Draghi speaking there on Monday as well. Just keep an eye on that. Don't forget it's a UK bank holiday, so you know, less liquidity. There could be a few rough moves. Tuesday it's going to be all on for Asia. We've got some the manufacturing, the Caxton manufacturing numbers. We've got the RBA rate decision and statement. Now don't forget really weak CPI numbers last week. It's going to make that very interesting. Kiwi on Wednesday. We've got the global dairy pricing comes out around midnight on Wednesday, and then we've got the employment numbers. Once again, Wednesday, bank holiday in Japan. Coming down through to, you got some PMI numbers out of the UK, construction numbers, services this week as well. Coming into Thursday, it probably heats up a little bit. We've got, excuse me, Aussie retail sales, a bit of a focus. Don't worry about the trade balance figures, they aren't that big. But the one thing is, less liquidity. Japan is out. So does that make the BOJ more likely to jump in? Probably not. It's very rare that they would come in on a bank holiday and intervene in the market unless this thing really started to slide. Now, obviously, the main event, Friday, non-farm payrolls. Okay, if the payrolls numbers come out weak, they'll be pushing back interest rate rises in the US 6 months. Okay, that's how important this number is. We could see the US dollar turn around, come out really strong if these numbers are strong, or if they are weak, we'll then definitely see the dollar slide further. I think this is a really important number this week, and the market will be focusing on it very closely. Now, the Aussie and Kiwi, we've got a number of releases this week. Don't forget to keep an eye on those Chinese numbers. The dour Chinese market is one thing that is keeping these currencies from rallying, and if you get further weakness there, then we could see the dollar rallying against the Aussie and Kiwi in particular. Now, just having a look at some of these numbers, the CFTC numbers come out Thursday night. The massive dollar shorts, okay, short against dollar CAD, and there's a massive long pound position, right? So the short dollars across the board, mainly CAD and sterling are the two main beneficiaries. Markets massively short Aussie. Futures market that is, and that's really interesting to see where their sort of interest is, and they're obviously short dollar yen, so they're thinking dollar yen goes down, sterling rallies, and dollar CAD comes off, which is, if you go back to those charts, they're the three major themes. Dollar yen is off, dollar CAD is off, and sterling is up. So it's no surprise to see the futures market this way inclined. The Aussie dollar is the odd one out here. It hasn't really moved, but the market's extremely short Aussie dollar futures at this point. Yeah, so just with those Aussie dollar futures, I guess they are looking for a dovish or bearish RBA meeting, and that's probably why the market is extremely short there. So we'll see how that plays out come Tuesday afternoon in Australia. All right, now, so plan your week, start to get organised. Major theme is dollar weakness. We've got some central bank announcements, we've got some guys talking. Make sure your charts are all tuned up and you've got that really nice visual of where those trend lines are. It's going to make those trading decisions a little bit easier. Okay, so that's the major theme, dollar yen, right? And you can see dollar yen almost starting to track to the top side. Now, one thing I was just going to say is don't forget the forum is now back online. We do have the weekly Forex picking challenge. Once again, each week we will be changing the currency pair that is the major focus. And obviously with the central bank meeting on the Aussie dollar, we will be focusing on the Aussie. So what you need to do is come into the forum, okay, or in the members area there. Don't forget you can register for free and get access to this stuff. Rules, all we want you to do is pick the Aussie closing rate on Friday in New York. You have to make your selection before the start of the RBA release on Tuesday, all right? And you do get a free month access to the trade zone. So that's not a bad little pickup for just having a bit of a guess. All right, so, and that's pretty much it, guys. It's going to be a big week, a few holidays, but lots of action. Good luck.